Because you don't trust your bro to do his job.
You can't read it for me.
When I put them on the screen, I do.
When you put it on the screen, but even then.
Hi, everybody. We're live. Got him.
Always waiting.
Got him.
Always waiting for that perfect moment.
And I'm just going to say, again, on Tuesdays, people are waiting on us.
That's because you're
every Monday. Where's everyone at? I guess I'll just go to the house.
That's because
we've already got Martha going hilariously on your thumbnail, I'm presuming.
You're presuming.
You got Rita, good old faithful Rita, Rosie, and Mary, the fellow Kentuckian.
You're not a Kentuckian, you're a Tennessean.
Don't you speak that blasphemy in my presence ever again, boy.
Where are we?
I am from the great state of Kentucky. Born and proud of it.
What state are you presently a citizen of?
That's because of taxes.
That don't change your citizenship. Your
birth certificate says born Kentucky. A Kentuckian. Yours says born Yankee.
Driver's license says Tennessean. All right.
You are trying to get hurt today.
Am I?
You're speaking like the devil. You get the devil out of you and speak right, boy. You like that, huh?
This is going to be an excellent show.
What show ain't excellent?
The ones I'm not in?
See, now you're trying to mimic me. My little point thing, stole that from me. What else did you steal from me?
How much are you stolen from me?
Very little.
Oh, boy.
Very little.
Ooh, that nose just grew out.
No.
Oh, man.
Grew a beard. All of a sudden, you had to grow a beard. Because all you had was your little goatee.
I've had a long beard even before you were born.
Let's look at the last five years worth of lives. When I was like goatee. Oh, Miss CJ, beard. Now you're doing my little point system. What's next? You're going to call your internet provider and be nice and patient?
No. Well, I call my internet provider and say, I've already got the phone number. Either you make it this or I'm out of there. Poof, be gone. All right. So, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
When were you ever nice?
No more Mr. Clean.
Bro, don't. Just stop. Just stop.
I bet the youngin' here don't even know who that is.
I know the song. I can't think of the band right off, but I do know the song. Because I listen to music for music. I don't listen to specific bands or anything like that.
Alice Cooper.
I told you I knew the song.
That wasn't Kiss.
Don't you yell at Rita.
That was Alice Cooper, Rita. All right. Where's our Eric?
Why are you always calling out Eric?
Because this is the 1% that Eric disagrees with me on.
You never call out anyone else except Eric.
And this is
what do you have against the great country of Canada?
Huh? I have nothing against the great country of Canada. I love Canadians.
Eric, just know I always got your back and appreciate you. Because unlike some people, I actually show appreciation.
Eric says he don't need you. He can take the abuse.
And as a person who takes a lot of abuse at work, I know what it's like to get some appreciation, daggone it.
I appreciate Eric very much.
First time it's ever been said in 5 years.
Both.
Eric, fact check that.
I said that when Eric showed up a year ago and recorded with you. How much I appreciated him.
You didn't say it on the live. You may have told him that on the phone.
It doesn't take a public display of affection. All right. So, there's this cosmic warfare that Christianity has dreamed up. This God against the devil. If God has got an enemy, okay, then he's not a God. Not only that, and yes, I'm going to make a lot of statements tonight that people are going to get ticked off about. If he's not in all things, and if the devil exists as y'all portray him, then that means that God is not in all things, and therefore God is not God. It's real simple.
Ooh, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, take me.
The big guy.
You know, doesn't the Bible say there's only one God?
Yes.
So when the super religious, institutionalized whatevers talk about, or as I always call it, the portraying of the arm wrestling match of God versus the devil.
Okay.
If God has an equal where there's an arm wrestling match, wouldn't that mean there be two, in a sense? But the Bible file says there's one.
Number one, people, especially preachers, teach the devil is this all-powerful being. So absolutely. And that's what makes it so wrong.
What makes it contradictory?
And here's the thing. Christians, especially pastors, will persecute anyone that believes there's not the devil to a greater degree than somebody who says, oh, Jesus was just a prophet. People get more up in arms if you say the devil doesn't exist than they will when you say Jesus is just a prophet. Okay? That's insane. Especially, and we're going to get into this. And why is this important? This is important because...
Does Tony actually have notes?
You ain't supposed to tell nobody that.
Tony actually have notes.
I do have a few notes today.
Wow, this is going to get deep, y'all. Pause this video, y'all. Go get your waders. Because we're going waist deep, I reckon. If Tony's breaking out the notes.
Here's the thing. This deal with the devil, what does it do? It gets people in fear. And here's why it's so important to grasp. And kudos to Eric, okay? And this is huge kudos. Yes, Eric believes that there is a devil. But he does not maximize the devil like most people do. And he, in fact, does the opposite, minimizes him, and does not build him up or magnify him. Most churches today magnify the devil. Okay?
Which I will in fact beg, because especially not where I go now, but a lot of places we've been to before, in an hour-long sermon, it'd be 58 minutes on everything. The devil's doing this, the devil's doing that, riding your back this, blah, blah, that, and then talk 2 minutes about Jesus.
Okay.
Like, who you rooting for?
All right. I got to respond to Eric on this one. They don't love him, they reverence him. What does reverence mean?
He straightened it up. Read the next one. He beat you to it.
No, he didn't. No. Fear is a deep reverence. They fear the devil. Therefore, they're putting the devil above God. They have a deeper reverential respect for the devil than they do for God. And there's a scripture for that. That's my buddy David there. What Dave got to say? If God is an enemy, then he's not God. That's very true. There's one spirit that is in all, through all, and upholds all things, which I was fixing to bring up, which CJ alluded to. Absolutely right. And therefore, if you have a devil that is a spirit, then guess what? Hello? Then how can God be in him? Therefore, God is not God. See, I'm really wanting to break this down.
Look, you better start getting on it, because everyone's already beating you to it.
That's all right. They're doing good. Even Eric's doing great.
Look, here's Samantha. Now, but wait a minute. The devil can take your blessing and all that. How's that make a lick of sense?
Right. Exactly right. The devil can give you diseases, etc., etc. All right. And that's why it's time to kill the mythology of the devil, put it to rest. That hurts, especially many ministers who think, wait a minute, I'm doing such great things for God, and that's the devil's attacking me. And what happens? It appears that way. Why?
Factor in what you speak is what you get. My Bible verse, that my favorite Bible verse, you know what I'm talking about. So when you're pounding the table saying, if the devil ain't jumping on your back, he's got you, ain't no wonder your life's hell.
Whose kingdom are you in? You put yourself in the kingdom of darkness, which is how this.
Then when you're speaking all the time about warfare and battles and this and that, you're going to constantly be in a battle.
Now, let's get on some facts here. All right? Here's a fact. In Hebrew, it's ha-satan, which means adversary, and it is not a proper name. It's a title. It's a role. It was a legal name. It's like a prosecutor. When you go and you look at the famous one, get thee behind me, Satan. Peter took on the role of an adversary, which is exactly what Jesus said, that you are a stumbling rock to me because you love the things of men, not because you love the things of Satan. If Satan's the hierarchy of evil, he was that Satan, right?
You want to say that louder for the people in the back? Daggone. This ain't a front row sermon, that's for sure.
And look at this. All right. Even in the garden, or y'all think that was the devil, which God says otherwise.
We're talking Adam and Eve, right?
Yes.
I'm just okay.
Because the serpent, right, was much more subtle than all the animals. The animals were made to be helpers.
Mm-hmm.
In nowhere, case, shape, or form is it alluded to that the serpent was, quote unquote, the devil. Okay? He was a helper. Nothing more, nothing less. Fast forward to Peter, same thing. Peter took on the role of an accuser. He was a stumbling block to Jesus because he loved the things of men more. All right? So, the Satan is simply a title that you're accusatory, you're an adversary, nothing more, nothing less. It is not a proper noun. Lucifer, number one. The title Lucifer is only found in the King James. It was not in the manuscripts. It's not a Hebraic word. It's only found one time in scriptures, and that was in reference to the king of Babylon, to a man, not to a fallen angel. That has no basis of fact. And I have to question why this is so embraced by Christianity. When you get over your cognitive dissonance because you love the devil so much, and look, y'all love the thought of the devil. Okay? I'm sorry. I do somewhat disagree. You like the idea of a devil. Not nobody that's on here, but you get a glint in your eye when you, let me rephrase it. They get a glint in their eye when they start talking about the devil.
Or more specifically, like a warfare type deal.
Yes.
We've seen it a million times.
You get that glint going on and the glitter going on. I'm serious. Sit and watch some of these preachers.
Especially the warfare type. The warfare obsessed ones, you know?
Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Right before that, it was number one, actually, verse 16. Right there. Is this the man who made the earth tremble? They ain't talking about no spiritual being. Is this the man? Who's he in reference to? Well, do something most people don't. Go to the context where, hello, the prophet was told, go to the king of Babylon and say to him, okay? There's absolutely no question that in those scriptures, it was talking about man, the king of Babylon. You cannot deny that in any way, shape, or form unless you got cognitive dissonance. It's not a fallen angel, it's a fallen king. It came from tradition. Lucifer is not a proper noun in Latin. Remember, it wasn't even a Hebrew word. All right. Never, ever is it responding, talking about Jesus had to fight the devil. All of that, all of it is, it's the and all right, wait a minute. Okay, here we go.
Did you lose your place in your notes?
Hush. See, they can't see that I have notes.
In the glare of your glasses, yes, they can.
Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. Ephesians 4:27. Do not give place to the devil. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. If he was an all-powerful being, how could we give him place? I have to give CJ place for him to affect me. Hello? The devil then has to be something else, not a creature. A mindset, fear, shame, ego, separation. The church, starting with Augustinian, created the gospel of separation, or the doctrine of separation, which they say in the garden that God separated himself from man. That's a false doctrine. There was no separation. God never withdrew his spirit from us. I talked about that yesterday.
Look what Rita put real quick. Young's literal translation says, "Get thee behind me, adversary."
Exactly right. That's my whole case in point. So how can y'all believe in a devil? Now, here we go, James 1:14. You don't get no clearer than this. Well, the devil tempts you, right? Not according to James. Each person is tempted when they are lured and enticed by Satan, Lucifer, and the devil. No, don't say that nowhere. When enticed by their own desire. Ain't got nothing to do with the devil demon. Lucifer, Satan, devil, it don't matter. And Diablos was an invented word at the time, by the way. It does not say by a serpent. It doesn't say by a devil. It's our own inner wounds. To hell with the devil, send the devil to hell, which does not exist either, and then both become non-existent. Then your life just got 80% better because now you can focus on the love of God. You ain't got to focus up on an enemy. That's you erecting barriers that do not exist. And this is why I am so passionate about it for many, many, many people, especially those in ministry. Once this sinks in, they experience an amount of freedom. I know, I went through it.
Okay, Eric's got one for you.
Exactly right. There ain't no There ain't no there. He was tempted in every form as anyone else. But guess what? He overcame the temptation. That's exactly right. Don't let your prejudice get the better of you, Brother Eric.
Don't start yelling at Eric.
Evil is real. People do unspeakable things. But it's not because of a cosmic villain pulling strings or anything else. They so want to convince you that, and why? Because it keeps you in bondage. If you're warring something without, you have less control. If you're warring something within, you have full control. How do you band the people together to rule over them? And what bonds people together? Fear and one common enemy. You've heard, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. What bonds you together? A common enemy. So Augustine specifically developed the devil, in which all of it goes back to when the Israelites were in Babylon. This is where they picked up on it from the pagans around them. And that's when it was introduced then. And when Jesus came along, he was meeting them where they were at. Very simple.
Eric's got a follow-up question.
Yes, and I know. And look, once again, should I bring this up or not?
I don't even know what you're talking about. So how can I even give a right answer?
Give the answer I want, then you got the right answer. No. This is real simple. You always lean a little bit towards where you came from. At least a little bit. I always lean towards being a rebel.
What do you mean lean a little bit? Anyway.
So, get over the religiousness. Where was I?
You're answering Eric's question
Uh,
or comment, responding.
yes, once again, what it's a title. Okay? There very well could have been a person there. Who knows? All right? But there is more than enough evidence, and just in this short teaching, without getting all scholastically and scholarly and putting my glasses on like a scholar, right?
No.
I've given you
Stop.
enough information that when you are looking at everything, you have to give it to me. Okay? The proof is right there, grammatically and otherwise. How the Jews used it, how Paul used it. They did not use it as this discombobulated spirit. Okay? That's not how it was used. And that's easy to look up and see. It's also easy to look up and find out that Lucifer was a Latin word that was not ever, ever, ever a proper noun. There was no angel named Lucifer ever. This is very easily proven, but you want to hold on to that thought. Okay? What changes everything? Love. You break down because there is no one can withstand love. Period. And that's the bottom line. The roots of the devil and all that go back to Babylon. And then to Augustine. Of course you've seen it. But guess what? We don't walk by sight, do we? That's the thing. And once again, let's go back a few years where I used to teach about it all the time. 35% of what you see is not reality. Okay? %35.
So what, you're actually like scrawnier than I see you as? I had to do that one. That was too easy.
No, I'm actually bigger.
No. Not possible.
I'm actually the size of Andre the Giant.
Ah.
Here's the thing. When you truly, and to answer Eric, early on when I believed in the devil, when I believed all the religious nonsense, did I see that crap? Yes. Absolutely, I did. But guess what? The minute I stopped believing in that crap, guess what? I stopped seeing it. To no surprise. And it's the same thing. I'm not denying. I literally saw a person crawling on the ceiling one day. But that, as I explained in my books, that was the earthly authority, that we give the power and authority to the quote unquote demons. We say it's them. The reverse is true. It's the human authority we've always had. And when you believe in something, remember, I've been there. I was literally insane. And when you are insane, you forget the boundaries of the physical world because guess what? God made us gods of this world. Okay? We are capable of so much more. It's our physical boundaries that are in our minds. Now, when we put the power in some demon's hands, then guess what? Then we start doing this incredible stuff. But the truth is, it doesn't come from their power at all.
This would be my open challenge to anyone. If they want to disagree and believe in the devil, whatever. Quit acknowledging it and focus more on God's peace and see how much better your life is.
Exactly right.
That is how I started, where get out of the warfare mindset, get out of the if he ain't on my back, he's got me mindset, and focus on God's peace. Start there and work your way up. That's what I did.
And if Jesus won at the cross, okay, then, hello? We're not waiting on anything else. This is where you bring, instead of looking at the full whole picture, you bring little snippets in here and there. I don't have to explain every single verse once again. Jesus speaks to us where we're at. Okay? They believed because it was brought in since the days of Babylon.
Boom. Eric's back on my side.
Eric ain't never left that position. He's always had that position, and I stated that. That's why, as much as we disagree, his position is fine. I've got no problem with his position. But so the fact is that's where they were at. All right? God deals with us where we're at. They believed in demons. They believed in all this stuff. It did not start out that way. You don't see all that stuff being introduced until, oh my gosh, that one book. The book that starts with C in the Old Testament. Can't remember. Anyhow, you do not see it anywhere. It was with Babylon. That was when it was introduced in a controlled stage so that the Israelites wouldn't walk away from the Torah altogether. Okay? And that is very well documented. That's when, by the time Jesus came, yes, they believed in demons and all that stuff, and Jesus met them where they were at. This is one hell of a topic, and I ain't even gone to hell.
I was gonna say, what would you say to all those people with the who's going to bring up the story where the dude had a lot in him and he threw it in the pigs and the pigs ran off the cliff? You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm just trying to save 20 emails, you know?
I personally love Doug Ham myself. That's a negative energy, folks.
I'm just trying to save you 20 emails by bringing that up too.
Energy, emotions are energy. There's higher and lower frequencies of energy. Very simple. There's nothing confusing about it. The man was insane. That negative energy had to go somewhere. Where did it go? It made me deviled him. All right.
There, Mark 5:13. I knew Eric would help me out.
It's very simple.
See, I don't have to ask Eric or even yell at him to be on the live. I know he's there because Eric's a bro.
Ooh.
Who even separated himself from Canada Easter to be with you like yesterday after you yelled at him.
Who instigated that one?
All I did was make sure you acknowledged yesterday was Canada Easter. You went way left field with that. Anytime you put up a live, I always send you news and notes of interest. Now, I didn't say I was supporting you, Eric. I just said people were going to bring it up in an argument. I'm surprised you didn't already.
Catch the replay, Linda.
Ain't nothing wrong with Team Replay Gang. Just make sure to hit that like button, too.
You go back to the use of those words, and then from there is a done deal. I'm sorry.
Now, Eric, to be fair, I never said I supported you. I just said people were going to bring it up.
And I responded.
Okay.
With a very plausible response.
Now, all I said was yesterday was Canada Thanksgiving. Or Canada Easter.
You're back in November now.
Canada Thanksgiving's in October.
Whenever.
I think. Anyway.
Now we're off in tangent. Move it along. Move along. Moving on.
One, I do this. And
Keep
on
it
a
moving.
tangent, I'm saying reel it in. Can't even get my hand signals right.
And
That's how little you pay attention to me.
And hell is just as easy to rebuke. Now, this one, me and Eric agree. So wait a minute, Eric. If you don't believe in hell, where's the devil stay at? Do I have a valid point, CJ?
Let's wait on Mr. Eric's response.
Did I have a valid point?
I've never heard Eric's response on hell before.
No, Eric is like me on hell. We agree. So where's the devil hang his hat then? Since he's a real creature, he got to have a place to live. But if hell don't exist, where's he call home?
Just wait on that fist to come through the camera. All the way from Toronto, Canada.
The light always overcomes darkness. Darkness cannot exist within light.
Yep.
So how can a devil exist? It can't. It's impossible. Once again, Jesus is all things. All things were created in him and through him. And number one, that's a title. Remember that. That was a title, meaning adversary. In Job, he is part of the council. He is not separate. He was not an evil force in that. Once again, I rest my case.
Eric's other verse.
It was a title, not a being, which means it was not the same thing every time. Okay. And I'm trying to switch because I've made my case, which is solid and actually undisputable. You cannot argue with grammar. Satan, the devil, or Lucifer were never proper nouns. They were never the name of a being. There is only one God who is in all things. Therefore, a devil cannot exist. The devil cannot exist. Very simple. All right. Case proven. 155 indisputable unless you got cognitive dissonance. Okay, let's go to hell. Once again, as an eternal torture chamber, it cannot exist. Number one, 4 different definitions shoved into one word does not work. Okay, it is so easy to disprove both. All right, and once again, I will point to the fact that those translators, especially with the King James Version, they were very biased and wanting to prove these things to keep people under their control. So don't think for a minute. If you want what I consider the most reliable source, it would be the Mirror translation. All right. So in all these things, that are supposedly in Scripture, but are they really? And my contention would be absolutely not. Okay. Now you're proving my point, Mr. Eric. Thank you.
Which Eric is also known for being a mirror translation lover,
right.
for the record.
So, hell is just as easily disproved. Number one, what they translated as eons, the word was eon, into eternity does not hold water. Okay? There's only one instance that it was used in such a manner to mean eternity, and that was towards God, the eternal God, and not towards hell. Okay? The way it's used and the fire that lasts forever and all that nonsense, okay, it does not mean eternally. It means for a very short period of time that there is suffering. My dearest friend, Mr. Martin, asked me yesterday, which I didn't give a real, I gave the answer, but not, I guess, clear enough. When you see the term hell in the new covenant, you need to replace that with the right definition. All those times when Jesus is talking about the wailing and the gnashing of teeth, okay, the word hell that's used in those instances is, guess what? Gehenna, which was a geographical location. It was a trash burning site where in 70 AD the bodies were burned. And what is a trash burning site? That's purification. We are going through hell while on earth. There don't need to be a hell after. All right? And so all of those times in Matthew, when he's saying hell, he's not referring to an eternal torture chamber. Number one, you don't have a body when you die. Therefore, how can your body burn forever? Hello? They can't. You're a spirit. You have no body. Hello? As Mr. President Trump would say, let's bring back common sense. You're a spirit. You cannot burn eternally. All right. This is where me and Harry get back into agreement. Absolutely. And so whenever you see that word hell, you're talking about an earthly refinement that Jesus is referring to. All 12 times. And it's a total lie when they say, Jesus talked about hell more than he talked about heaven. That's not true. And he never talks about it as eternal punishment. So, we totally agree with that. Eric's poor devil is homeless. He's got no place to go. He ain't got no kingdom. Exactly right.
You know, we didn't even bring up the most important part of the no devil comment.
Pray tell.
How are you going to talk about someone stealing your blessing who can't even beat a guy from Georgia in a fiddle contest?
Yeah, Eric, answer that one to me. For me.
Yeah. How can you steal your blessing from God if you can't even beat a guy in a fiddle contest?
My name's Johnny, and it might be a simp. I
Thank
told
you,
once,
Rita.
son of a gun. I'm the best
I
as
knew-
ever been.
I knew there was something I was forgetting. Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
I said Rita.
Anytime. All right.
Ooh, what does that mean? Pop quiz.
You're welcome.
You got one right. I've been trying for years to get you some basic common knowledge on today's youth a little bit. And you finally got one right from Rita. Good job, Rita.
All right. So I hit the main points. Jesus didn't come to fight. Okay? Not to fight myths, but to awaken us to the truth that's always been the truth. Just because we haven't recognized it as the truth doesn't mean that it was. All right? This stuff is actually very logical and is actually very easily proven when you set aside what you want the reality to be. When you enter this stuff with a neutral heart, it's easily provable. And it doesn't take hours upon hours. All right. It's only your experience does not always match up to the truth. That's why you cannot go by your experience, because it doesn't always match up to the truth. That's why I could care less if you got 40, 150 years in ministry, whatever. That does not faze me. Especially if you've been in a church, then that really means nothing to me. You're not impressing me. And if you're bringing up you're a Jew, you still ain't impressing me. All right. That don't impress me much. You got the looks, but do you got the touch?
Your singing don't impress me much.
It ain't meant to much. We love y'all.
Yep.
I love y'all. Thank you for listening to CJ's rambling time. At least it was empty.
We'll do bottle cap next time. Anyway.
Oh, shout out. Listen, everybody right now, go to Amazon, buy my book. Then once you buy my book, give a review. And once you give the review, share it with other people. People need to know the unreligious testimony.
Ooh, Tony. Well, is there a link to your books? Oh, there is. It's on the bottom of the screen right there. Assuming that link still works.
Where did you get it from?
It's the one you made way back when we first started StreamYard.
Then it's a different one because this is a new book.
Then why didn't you tell me that? I made a new link.
Unless that's my author's page. If that's my author's page, and it should work.
Gotta do it here.
If that's my author's page,
It's whatever you made way back when.
I don't remember what I made way
Do you
back.
even remember the title of your book?
Hold on. A Reckoning with Love is the title. The Healing Journey of an Atheist. So, Scooby-Doo to you.
Just give me a minute.
I don't know. If that's my author's page, then that's still working. If that's the page, to run the book.
Just give me a minute.
What are you doing? Oh.
We're still live. Keep talking.
You got me distracted now.
I wanted to make sure it wouldn't pull up your specific account because we're on your Google account first, but it.
You're confusing me. Just go press Tony Myers. Okay, that is the correct one. Problem solved. B0, 1, and 9. That's the same thing as scrolling B0, 1, and 9.
Booyah.
That's simple.
Problem solved. You're welcome.
I solved the problem, not you.
Who airdropped the link to the Mac so we could verify? And I used that with technology. Oh,
You could have just gone to Amazon right there. You could have just gone to Amazon and it would have done it. See, the younger generation
Mr. Eric has a question.
takes the hard way.
Oh, here we go with the labels. But wait a minute, you said yesterday you can't label nothing. You can't have it both ways. Either you can label or the labeling's dead. Make up your mind right now.
Jesus used generation, therefore I can.
Prove it.
He said this generation. That's using
Prove it. I want the
generation.
verse and everything.
You have okay. I don't have any copies on hand. If you wait till I get some copies, then you can buy it direct, but it'll be easier just to buy it through Amazon. To answer your question, Eric. Yes, if you buy it direct, I would make more, but I don't have any copies on me because we were going to publish it in May. We're like 4 weeks early, and so I don't have any copies yet. I know. Next thing he does, get some copies.
I ain't even got a copy yet.
I ain't even got a copy yet.
That's your problem.
All right.
You take my copies and don't return them.
This is true.
You better hope Granny didn't hear you.
This is not true. Okay. But y'all go buy them on Amazon, write a review, get the testimony, the unchurchanized version, the unchurchianity version, and spread the word. All right. Do you have anything else, Mr. CJ?
I'm good.
Be blessed.
Be healed.
And be a blessing.
Blessed. Love y'all. You'll do. You gotta finish.